Hello fellow writers, welcome to the second making of and the first podcast of Lost Dominion. Today we're gonna show you some work in progress, but this time it's in the music and voice department. Hope you'll enjoy the show and, well, stay tuned. I bet you noticed the intro, didn't you? To make things more suspenseful, I include a short spoiler of the TRLE main theme, composed by our young genius composer tomekkobialka. So you should thank him, not me. In the first part, I'm gonna present you a short part of the cutscenes played in Germany, featuring the voices of Jenny and Adam. Enjoy it!
That's unpleasant. This crucifix has many similarities to the one depicted on the martyr painting. And now it all comes together. During the wars between the Cabal and the Lux Veritatis, the Cabal have apparently thrown the dead bodies of the Templars inside this pit. How terrible.
Who are you?
You don't need to know that, for your own good.
My own good? Do you know what kind of life I've been through, girl?
I don't doubt that it's been terrible, but I need a few things for a friend of mine.
A friend of yours, huh? Your little Cabal friends?
You know about the Cabal?
Of course I know about the Cabal. There's a reason why this damn castle stands here.
The Cabal built the castle?
No, of course not. The Templars built it as a confinement pit for the Black Alchemist. They kept him inside for centuries. Until
What?
Until he was freed in 1945 by the Luftwaffe. My father piloted one of the planes and the Führer ordered him to bomb the castle. He had no choice but to follow his orders, even though he knew what, or should I say who, was inside Kriegler.
Great, wasn't it? It's still not finished, but you get my point for sure. So people, now we have one of our newest members in the podcast as a guest. He's quite new in the community, but has been a long-time lurker, as he describes himself, where music composing and voice acting meet his stands. Hello, Adam.
Good day. How do you do?
Great. Hope you are doing so too. Well, you are quite known in the scene here, as I've noticed, but only in the last few months you took the initiative to join tomekkobialka and offer your voice acting skills. What got your attention to do this step?
Well, I've actually always been a Tomb Raider fan. It was actually the first game I received for the PlayStation. You can say I grew up with the franchise. I happened upon the forums while searching for some new Tomb Raider news.
So, have you been in touch with any level 2 related Tomb Raider stuff before?
I can't say that I have. I'd really like to, though. But, as it stands with my current schedule, I don't think time will permit. I've dabbled with other video game toolsets, but haven't created anything worthy of mention.
Guess it's not for everyone. Anyway, I know these questions might get cheesy for you, but how did you discover your talents for great voice acting?
I guess it started from when I was a kid, not always imitating great characters. You could say I had a very vivid imagination. I would spend countless hours outside designing my own world. As I got older, I began to analyze the inner workings of video games. The music, the voices, the story. It really intrigued me, more so than the actual gaming itself. So, I decided to try my hand at it. As soon as I had a decent microphone, I jumped into it, sending auditions out to the world.
And the world seems to be grateful for that. Has become composing and voice acting a profession, or is it still a hobby for you?
At the moment, it's just a hobby. Something I do for fun. But I hope someday I can call it my profession. Until then, work, work, work.
Don't overdo yourself then. Although I wouldn't complain if you would do it for the Lost Dominion.
Oh, you don't have to worry about that. Tomb Raider has a special place in my heart. There's no such thing as overdoing it.
That's what I'm always saying. Anyway, I've been lucky to ask you out for a test recording of some Kurdish trend lines, and I was very satisfied with the end result. To let also the others know what I mean, let's hear a spoiler of some recordings of Kurdish lines by Adam. Here we go.
strength of my enemies empowers me. My psychic strength is increased. Lux veritatis mecum. Light of truth be with me. Maxima veres ad incrementum. That was too close. Yeah, living on the edge. Whew, I need a holiday. Time to die, monkey! Come on, Bobo. Don't be shy. Let's dance. Okay, ugly. Just you and me. Bitch! Goddamn bugface! Hag! Rot in hell! 3 strikes and out. Ha! Last word to me!
Great, as I already said. I wonder how your voice in your daily life is. Do you play with it to confuse or make your friends laugh sometime, or do you have a normal speaking voice with which you stick to?
I hope I did the character justice. I would say it's fairly standard. As I'm sure anyone else would say about themselves, you get kind of sick of your own voice. I guess that's partly the reason why I experimented around with different characters. I remember always prank calling and doing other stuff like that when I was younger. But now I just mainly stick with my plain old normal voice. That is, until I get behind a microphone.
Prank call, huh? I see we have something in common with our humor. Yeah, look at you guys who really believe that I cancelled the project.
Guilty.
And we that always somehow. So yeah, Adam, thank you for taking your time and answering these questions. I see this is the beginning of a great teamwork, and I hope we will hear very soon more from you.
No problemo. Thanks for having me. As do I.
Now we will hear Jenny, aka Green K2, read out loud the introduction cutscene of the game. Turn the volume up and relax.
Clutching my side to lessen the blood flow from my injuries, I staggered into the dimly lit circular arena. The ceiling lights high above me flickered, and the distorted reflections from the glistening pool of water beneath me created a sense of eeriness as I stumbled into the centre of the room, catching my breath. Where was Curtis? I asked myself, as I looked around the now silent surroundings, and the monstrosity formerly known as Boas, for that matter. I had reluctantly left them together earlier, after Curtis continually reassured me he could handle the situation, and that it was best if I went ahead and stopped the madman, otherwise known as Eckhart, and, as I discovered, the true heart of the operation, TRLE. What the? I gasped, covering my mouth in shock. Almost instantly my legs seemed to turn to stone, and I stood there motionless, frozen for a few moments at the sight before me. Instinctively, I felt my will grow stronger as I approached the large pool of crimson liquid in the centre of the room that had tainted the metal grating and the still water beneath. The foul, metallic but unmistakable smell arising from the puddle hit me. I didn't have to think twice to know what it was. Blood. But I thought rationally for a moment, doing my best to bury the thoughts of all the worst outcomes that I'd conjured up inside my head. Who did it belong to? Boas or Curtis? One thing was certain. Whomever it belonged to was gone, along with their opponent. A faint glimmer that seemed as if it was doing its best to attract my attention disunited me from my thoughts. I looked down and noticed a familiar circular metal disc lying on the floor. Is it? I asked myself, almost not believing what I saw. Is it twitching? I bent down to examine the object more closely, to confirm my curiosity. Sure enough, it was Curtis's tsurugai, and it was indeed moving by itself. My hand shivered as I reached out and picked it up. I could see my reflection in the polished metal, amongst the intricate patterns. My eyes had changed, I noticed instantly. They seemed different, as if they were stained with determination. As I picked up the weapon, the razor-sharp glinting blades shot out immediately. I jumped back slightly in nervousness, but luckily managed to keep a firm grip of the peculiar weapon I still knew so little about. Strange, I thought, perplexed. The Tsurugai only ever showed its true form when commanded by its master. Did that mean Curtis was okay? How long for? A glimmer of hope shone in the darkness of my mind for the first time in so long. It was odd, though. Whilst being constantly pursued on an international manhunt for a murder I didn't commit, and becoming caught up in Carell's plan to revive his race, I had almost forgotten what it was like to hope and had faith. It started to move in the air by itself and began guiding my hand. I straightened to my feet as it started forcefully tugging on my arm. It was as if it was trying to lead me somewhere, guiding me. The Tsurugai was pulling me towards the half-open warehouse door at the far end of the arena, the same door the supposedly new and improved boas emerged from earlier. I hesitated for a few seconds. Was it leading me into danger or safety? I wondered. I had no other way of escaping this prison, so I had no choice but to follow wherever the mystic weapon left me. I took the first step, and then another, and another. My pace quickened as I realized that for once this wasn't about me now. This was about Curtis. I had to find him, I thought, as I was engulfed by the ominous darkness beyond the door.
So yeah, this was all about the first podcast. I hope you enjoyed the show and will have more faith in this project than before. I see many of you really believe that the project is dead, but I won't allow that to happen so soon. And I found it quite amusing though to see drama going on the forums. If you wish to send us feedback, I guess you know where to contact us. Otherwise you probably wouldn't have found this podcast, right? And last but not least, I want to wish one of our story writers, Sea Monks, a happy birthday. You got 19 today. Hope you had a great day, buddy. Next time we will try to answer some questions related to the project. Until then, I hope we will meet at the next making of. Goodbye and keep writing.